Hello everybody, hope we're all good. Big shout out to KRCT Couriers, the Transport Limited, and a big thank you to everyone who likes, shares, comments and subscribes to the All or Nothing podcast with Michelle Primo. Okay, so I'm with a guy called Paul Davies, a former martial artist, Storman. Now, Paul has worked with some of the toughest characters in Liverpool and around the city. Now, we're here to talk about a guy called Gary Spires. Now, Gary was the toughest individual to reside in Liverpool. Yeah. You know, from what I've been told, he was the best of the best. You know, if you lasted longer than 30 seconds with Gary Spires, then you're in with a fighting chance. So, you know, you've had a few great experiences with him. You've worked with him for years. You know, you're a friend of his. He stayed at your house. You know, he passed away and it broke your heart. And you know, you tell us a little bit about like what he was as a man.
He was a deep individual, like, you know what I mean, quite a clever individual, like, you know. I mean, he'd start talking about things and he'd go off on tangents all the time, like, because something else would pop into his head, you know. But he just...
Was he a bit like a Yoda, sort of like?
Yeah, definitely.
Coming out with quotes.
Yeah. I mean, he used to, like, whenever he was leaving you, he'd always come out with, like, a few little isms that he used to say. He used to say, happiness and laughter was one of them. Crime and violence was another one. And peace and tranquility was the other one.
So we learned as well that, like, you know, martial arts, like Paul, we were discussing about martial arts and what does it really mean. So martial, right, means military and art. So Gary was quite fond of guns, right? He had, you know, he had a collection. He had
not just guns, all weapons.
All weapons, nunchakus. What kind of weapons did he?
Knives.
The
sword. You know.
Yeah, so
anything and everything.
And he was good at using them.
Yeah, without a doubt.
There was a time where...
Well, the knives, for instance, like, he was a slaughterman.
Yeah. So
knives were just second nature to him.
So Gary's actually trained with, like, sumo wrestlers. You know, he's been involved in Muay Thai, you know, competitions. He's done every martial arts style you could think of, right? Yeah. He trained bouncers, like in a military precision way. Yeah. You know, you said to me this was like someone training mercenaries.
That's what it looked like. My first impression.
Yeah.
You know.
And he was beheading people with elbows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, this was, you know, he sadly died in what, 2001.
Yeah.
You know, but there's, I think you get these little fighting arts. You know, here he is, he's on the front cover of all these. Now, Terry O'Neill was a good friend of yours, and Terry got you these.
I wouldn't say Terry was a good friend of mine. I knew him vaguely through Gary. Yeah. But I wouldn't say we were good friends.
Terry's still alive, isn't he? He's an icon.
Yeah.
You know, he was the best.
Without a doubt, yeah.
You know, you mentioned his kicks were precise and sharp, and, you know...
Legend.
He was legendary. You know, he'd fucking worked in movies, hadn't he?
Yeah.
Conan the Barbarian and everything. Right, so, done a podcast. Right, it'll be out soon enough with Paul. And it's all about, you know, his experience with Gary Spires and, you know, working on the doors. It's brilliant. And thanks for your time. Appreciate it. And once again, thanks for watching. Take care.